All right, so we got everything David Cornsweet did to become Superman from GQ. Okay, so I haven't even seen the new Superman yet. Um, I'm just curious to see what he did, really. But yeah.
Didn't need a zipper to pee because my intrepid dresser, Scotty, and I got so good at getting in and out of the suit that we could do it in about 4.5 minutes.
What? Didn't need a zipper because it took 4
Hi, I'm
minutes.
David Corenswet, here with GQ to talk about how I prepared to play the role of Superman.
Oh, it's Corins. Oh, okay. Not Corns, it's Corens.
So when did Superman first present himself in my life? I really don't remember. I assume that my first introduction was Smallville, Tom Welling in the television show, while we weren't allowed to watch television.
Oh, I think for me, what was it? I my first time seeing Superman, it was like the animated Superman, where he had like the big like square jaw or rectangle head or whatever. And it was like the animated Superman, animated Batman, and then animated Justice League and all that shit. And then I remember seeing Smallville, but then I was just so like disinterested in Smallville because I mean shit, this was out when I was a little kid and I was like, I don't want to see real people, I want to see cartoons. So I mean I eventually got around to seeing all of Smallville. Um and it was pretty cool to see that little blank area of Superman's life. Like the teenage years slash like young adult ish years. Him like getting like grips with like his powers and whatnot. Because what do you call it? Smallville start? Like what era of Superman was it? Like when he was like a little kid? Um, so like what? Like middle school, and then like every I forgot how it went. It's been so long since I seen it, but yeah,
Growing
it was
up.
good.
I had like a couple hours after I got home from school before my parents would get home where I could sneak whatever was on. I think Superman is one of those characters, ideas, symbols that pervades the culture, and
Oh,
therefore you don't necessarily need a first exposure. I'm not sure I really did want to play Superman. I never thought it was an achievable goal. I mean, even when I was auditioning for James's movie, I didn't really think that it was possible that I was going to be the person to get it. I was at home on a ladder, like changing a light fixture, and I took the call, and they were like, "Well, David, we think you know what this call is about." And I was like, "I really don't know what this is about. I'm on a ladder. Please talk faster." And my agent said, "It's an audition. You know what's coming." I was like, "Top Gun 3? What am I like definitely waiting for?" I said, "No, it's Superman. You're not special. There are a lot of people auditioning.
oh,
Everybody's gonna self-tape. There are gonna be
yeah.
nobody's meeting with James ahead of time. Everybody's gonna put themselves on tape. And good luck."
Damn, how many people actually applied, well, or whatever, applied to like take on the role for like this Superman movie? It had to have been like a couple hundred, like to like close to 1,000, right? Had to have been.
Don't fuck it up. Luckily, I live with and had just very sensibly gotten married to my self-tape partner, my wife, who's also an actress. So we did about an hour, did the scene a few times,
Hmm.
then came back after a couple of days and did it again. And I think I did that 3 times, just in the
Okay.
hopes that on one of those days I would find something that was worthwhile. I think in the end, I
I mean, shit. If that was me, I'd be spending like multiple days too trying to do like a scene over and over and over again. V Superman. That shit was like, I mean, being Superman or like I don't know, like because like movies are like just there forever. You- So it's like if you're not doing your damnedest to like get like a role, it's like that kind of me like implies that you don't really want the role. And if you don't want the role, like you're just not gonna give it your all.
used one of the takes from the very first session.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure. For the audition purpose, it was rewritten. It was sort of fabricated a little bit, so it didn't give anything away. But it was between Superman or Clark and
Miss Lane.
And it was an interview of a kind. And then
Okay.
I spent one of these days leading up to the deadline watching the Superman movies.
Who are you?
We watched the first Christopher
that's
Reeve
cool.
movie. We watched Superman Returns.
Good.
And we watched Man of Steel. Just to
Yeah, like that's what you should be doing. You should be like, well, because like some people are like, they want to go into a role with like no prior like movie knowledge or anything, but like you can't really do that because unless someone was like born under a rock, it's hard to avoid these like cultural iconic figures such as Superman or something like that. Like I know like I don't know who does it, but like was it Joaquin Phoenix? Like I don't know if he did like any research about like the Joker or anything like that. He just wanted to like go into it like just raw, whatever he thought his depiction of the Joker was. I don't really remember, but I mean, for what it is, I mean, sometimes that stuff can work, like that style, but like sometimes it's like you want to watch and consume everything to get like the vibe right. But you know, sometimes you don't wanna. I mean, shit. I mean, to go against myself, what was it? The Jared Leto Joker. I mean, we saw that implementation of it, but to no avail on that one.
sort of get a sense of the cinematic canvas that had existed over the decades, which was really wonderful. And I had some strong thoughts that I told to my wife. I got very passionate, as I often do watching movies. I love movies and I love critiquing them and I love celebrating and sort of breaking down where they succeed and why they succeed. And I think she was the one who said, you should probably get these ideas to him in some form or another. He should know what you're thinking. I wrote a letter. I sat right down and I wrote myself a letter, addressed it to whom it may concern, you know, leaving open the possibility that no one would care and so it would concern no one. And I just laid out some of the thoughts that I had and the passion that I had for the possibilities of this character and the great drama available to a character like Superman. And I sent that along with my audition tape to whomever it concerned. And then I forgot about it.
Oh.
I got cast in Twisters after that, so I went to Oklahoma, and it was just before my first day of filming that I got the call that I was going to screen test for Superman, one of the most iconic characters in all of film and print media. I found out that Nick Holt was going to screen test, and I was like, well, I'd give it to Nick, who I had sort of tracked all through his career, and every time I saw him, I thought, I want to be like
he's
him,
good too.
and also I'll never be like him. Like, I could never be as facile and specific and charming an actor as he. But in some ways, that's good news, because then you go, well, if they give it to him, like, who can blame them? We arrived, we were paired up into Clark and Lois's, Clark and Lois's. We were paired up into pairs of those pairs. You know, like a pair of shoes where it's one thing, but two. Anyway, and then we stepped out onto sort of a sitcom set, 3 walls and a living room, and we had some props and we had some things to play with. There are very few actors, I think, who really love a director on a mic in a different room. Say it like this now. You know, interrupting every 3 lines to say it. And that's how James directs. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. He loves to get involved like that. And I loved it. I just thought, I don't have to do any work in this situation. He's doing all the work. I just have to do what he says and like play with it and react to it. He had 3 cameras going, I think, and we would do take after take after take. He would give us notes. We did costume tests where we got to try on Henry Cavill's Superman suit, which is an amazing piece of costuming, technological innovation. It's an incredible suit and beautifully made. In the same way that Henry got to put on Christopher Reeve's suit for his screen test. That's the moment when you're stepping into something iconic that you've seen up on the screen.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that they did stuff like that. Like, oh, we'll let you try on the last person's suit. I mean, that's kind of cool. Like, did they do that with, like, any other superheroes is what I would also ask. Like, not just Superman. Like, did the Batmans do that or anything? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Because, like, did they do that with... Well, no. Did they do that with Spider-Man? You know, because like a lot of the Marvel people, they pretty much just play the same character. It's only like now that we are seeing, I don't know, people like retire their roles as characters to like, I don't know, maybe like jump into like someone else's thing. Or maybe that's just like a DC thing where you have like multiple people play the same role. We've had like a bunch of different Jokers, a bunch of different Batmans, now a bunch of different Supermans. Whereas if you look at it from like the Marvel standpoint, I mean, well, we've only really had like one Iron Man, one Captain America. I mean, I think we've had like 3 Hulks now. Maybe it's just like dependent on the role or whatever, but
In addition, I got to do an afternoon with the stunt team. They put me in blue spandex and strung me up by wires and did some flying and some fighting with me. I think both to give me a sense of, you know, what it felt like and also to evaluate us on how well we could handle it and how prepared we were for that. It turned out that that was going to be one of the biggest demands of the shoot. All of those elements making up the weekend, I left feeling, again, it's absolutely impossible that I'm going to get picked to do this.
So at every stage he goes up, he's like, there's no way it's me. There's no way it's me. No way it's me. No way it's me. I mean, that's a dude thing. I mean, not just a dude thing, but like, I don't know, maybe it's like an every person type of thing. It's like a very like grounded approach to approach life. Like if you move up a level, it's like, there's no way I could be the guy. You go up a level, because you don't really like disappoint yourself, or like you won't really get sad when you like don't get chosen to get the role or whatever. So it's like if you keep on saying, "Oh, it's not me," while simultaneously trying like your ass off or whatever. I mean, it's like a mental, like you're like mentally coddling yourself of like, okay, I'm gonna give it my all, but like all I can do is my best, type of thing.
I'm not going to hope that I get picked to do it, but I think these are my people. We get along. I think they get me. I think I get them.
What the hell does that mean? These are my people. They get me. I get them. What the fuck?
Scarecrow's up! Scarecrow's up!
I had flown from Oklahoma to LA for the screen test for a weekend and then flown straight back, and I filmed on that Friday and that Monday on Twisters. And then I got a call from an unknown 310 number. So I walked in the other room, answered the phone, and I heard, "David, it's James Gunn." And I said, "Can you prove that?" He was like, I don't know. I'm calling you to offer you.
That's the next thing that you say. Prove it. Still in just complete disbelief.
Role of Superman.
Hell yeah.
We got it. We got it.
All right.
He hit 3 or 4 important points to him. The first of which was really caring for the work and the time that people are putting in. Everybody from the heads of the departments to the PAs and the costumers, the dressers. James was sort of making clear to me, it's our job as the director and number 1 on the call sheet to sort of shine the glory on those people who don't usually get it. And then he said, "I know you're in good shape," which was nice of him to say. I was 195 pounds at the time, which is not very much for somebody who's 6'4". He said, "You're in..."
Oh shit, he's like 6'4", 190. He didn't even say that his height right away. I was like 195 or 190, whatever. It's like, yeah, that's fine. But then he's like 6'4". I was like, oh, he kind of skinny though. Ooh.
Good shape, but I want you to get a trainer. I want you to work on your shoulders and your vulnerability, which I thought was very funny. The final thing he told me was that Rachel was going to be cast as Lois Lane and that I had maybe a couple of hours to frantically tell all the people I wanted to tell personally before they were going to announce it because they didn't feel like they could keep it secret for very long. I desperately tried to tell my high school acting teacher, Phil Brown. He was the first teacher of mine who took me seriously enough to sort of call me on my high school bullshit.
Oh, that's so funny. The first thing, wait, this is kind of like backhanded because like, bro, you wouldn't call your high school acting teacher if you got the role as like, I don't know, like, because I didn't see Twisters 2 or whatever the fuck it's called, Twisters. I didn't see it because I'm like, oh, it's fucking stupid. Like, I don't care about twisters. Like, the first one was good enough. It didn't need a sequel. Whatever. What, you didn't think that, like, if you got like a big Hollywood role you for twisters, you wouldn't call your high school acting teacher then? I mean, I guess because like the bad guy for twisters isn't as grandiose as the next Superman, I guess. That's kind of funny when I say it like that.
Shit of like, stop fucking around. We're not operating at the highest level here in our little Quaker high school, theater program. Don't let that be an excuse not to push yourself and not to work harder than everybody else if you're going to take this seriously. And he was the last person I got to tell for the first time that I was going to play Superman. And that was a good little celebration, that phone call. The funny thing is, in that
cool.
moment of success where you get the part, really all the celebration is now I have work to go to.
Lois, have you got a minute?
Yeah,
My
it's time to go to work. It's time to be Superman, dog.
personal sort of internal preparation to play Superman was pretty simple, which was I just immediately latched on to this sense of he so loves getting to do what he does. And I think that shows up in every big screen iteration. There is just this love that Superman has of his ability to protect people and to save people and to be a symbol of hope. He doesn't carry it as a burden. At the same time,
I mean, depending on what source material you read, sometimes it could be a burden.
there's an isolation and a loneliness that comes with that because he is the only person in that position. There's no one else who is truly his equal in that respect.
Yeah.
And he's not one of these loner characters, one of these great superheroes who likes to be alone and wants to be different. Spider-Man's whole thing is like he's always been too normal his whole life, and when he becomes Spider-Man, that's his opportunity to be different. And
I gotta hear this all again because like he like says one thing and then says something else. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
just this love that Superman has of his ability to protect people and to save people and to be a symbol of hope. He doesn't carry it as a burden. At the same time, there's an isolation and a loneliness that comes with that because
Okay. I would say sometimes Superman feels like alone. Sometimes it does feel like a burden. It's just, for whatever like I think you see Superman being like more vulnerable in the comics than you do like in the movies or the shows because like for the most part you want to see Superman being Superman. You don't want to see Superman being like a sad mopey whatever bitch, okay? You just don't want to see that when you go to a Superman movie. You want to see him throwing haymakers and like flying around, heat vision, cold breath, super strength or whatever, all right? If I wanted to see like some mopey bullshit, I'd go see a different movie.
he is the only person in that position. There's no one else who is truly his equal in that respect. And he's not one of these loner characters, one of these great superheroes who likes to be alone and wants to be different. Spider-Man's whole thing is like he's always been too normal his whole life.
So he's alone in that aspect, but like he doesn't want to be alone. I mean, he was raised like a regular kid on a farm. So he's had to, put on a guise, like the guise of Clark Kent. So he's had to juggle like more or less two personalities. His normal Kryptonian mode where he can just do everything like and he's just super, but then he has his regular human mode of Clark Kent where he has to like purposely like do things like a human.
And when he becomes Spider-Man, that's his opportunity to be different and to stand out, to make something of himself. And for Superman, he just wants to be like everybody else. He desperately wants to be a part of humanity. He loves humanity. So what would it be like and what would the drama be for this character who's pretty much good? He's like, okay, he's cool. And he
Yeah, because I mean, for the most part, everybody associates Superman as being like the most Boy Scoutish. He's only gonna do good for everybody and always sacrifice himself. You know, everybody knows the morals and virtues of Superman. All right, he's like the ultimate Boy Scout. You know what he's gonna do.
Also is the most powerful superhero in the universe. What's the problem? Well, immediately I was like, well, the problem is you can't relate to anybody and nobody can relate to you. And sure, people
Right.
are happy to see you and they're like, they're like, oh my God, it's fucking Superman. But you don't have heroes unless you have struggles, unless you have crises, unless you have calamities and tragedy. So
Yeah.
you sort of need an imperfect and fragile humanity to have heroes. But then those
Right.
heroes, that hero in Superman, doesn't get to be a part of that other thing. He can come in and out of it, but he doesn't quite get to be a part of it. So that led me into reading All-Star Superman and Superman for All Seasons, which were the two
Actually dipping into the comics. Very nice.
comics that James pointed me to. I found immediately a one-to-one reference in a quote from Grant Morrison, who, along with Frank, quietly created All-Star Superman, which turned out to be one of the main references that James had pulled from, where he makes exactly the same point. Years before I did. All credit to him.
Okay.
I was aiming for about 4,500 calories a day. The gym was the first
Oh.
place I went to prepare, and there is a certain loneliness
Talk about the working out and shit. Oh shit. That's my wheelhouse now.
and isolation that comes at the gym. It's just you against the heavy weights. Yes,
What? There's a certain isolation. I mean, maybe to the gym that he went to, but like every time I go to the gym, like I'm trying to fucking scramble to get my favorite machine. All right, maybe at like big blockbuster Hollywood gym, it's like all empty and it's just you. He's like, oh, I'm so alone at the gym with me and the heavyweights. It's like, bro, just go to a regular ass public gym. You won't be so alone.
I had a wonderful trainer, Paolo, but in the moment when you're going for that 9th rep or you've put a little extra weight on the bar, nobody's going to do it for you. It's just you alone in your mind seeing if you can go a little bit further than you thought you could go. And you have this great noble goal of like you're prepping for Superman, but at the same time, I guess, you're the only one doing that.
Is this what it's like for like a regular dude to talk about doing stuff at the gym? Because for me, I've been like just like a filthy casual, like just go to the gym anytime I like. Because I just got with my friends recently. Like my buddy came down from like where is it, like Ohio or some bullshit. We all got back together, and I meet up with everyone, and everyone's like, "Oh, Cornel, you're like, you're still like kind of big and stuff like that." But they mean it in like a nice workouty type of way, not like, "Oh, you're fat" or whatever. It's like I get it. And it's like, "Oh yeah," and all I tell them is like, "Bro, just keep working out. That's all you got to do. It's nothing special." Like, just tone back your diet a little bit. Like, eat the right foods that you're supposed to eat, like, and just keep going to the gym. I mean, shit, I've been going to the gym for, like, since I got my job for, like consistently, like, 7 years now. And before that, I would go to, like, other gyms whenever I had, like, whatever jobs. As long as I had money, I'd try to maintain a gym membership and go as often as I can. But me hearing this from David, it's like, has he like never like worked out at a gym before? And it's kind of like puzzling to me, because I assume if he was like gonna go after for the role of Superman, wouldn't it stand to reason like you should kind of like prep and like just start going to the gym right now, like get into that mindset? I mean, or maybe this is the part where I am the weird one, and I will forego that. I mean, I'd have to, because most people don't go to the gym. So hearing someone try to describe what it's like going to the gym for the first time, it's like, okay, I guess. But to me, like, every time I like talk to someone about going to the gym, it's just like, at the end of the day, I just tell them it's like brushing your teeth. Most people, like almost everybody, should brush their teeth. Does everybody brush their teeth? Not exactly. The same thing with the gym. Most, if not all people, should probably go to the gym. But what ends up happening is like, almost everybody like does not go to the gym. But it's like a body hygiene thing. But like, I mean, it's whatever. And it's not just the gym, just go out and just fucking do something active. Like that's all. Like, but I mean, whatever. I'm just ranting.
Juilliard prepared me surprisingly well, actually, when we were doing all of the stunt work, especially. I was astonished at how much I was drawing on the years of movement classes that we would do. We trained with Moni Akim, and his classes were sort of the most classic Juilliard experience of...
Oh, did he go to like acting school? Like Juilliard acting school, whatever? And there's like bro, what is a mime/movement artist? That's a job title? I mean, I guess.
Super high intensity, almost to the point of being impossible. And a lot of, just holding your leg out and pointing and point and a flex for hours and hours and hours. It feels like a lifetime. It became so directly...
Bro, that's just like flexibility. That's like some calisthenics type shit. Like, what are you talking about? You don't need to go to a fucking college, like, class to like do some flexibility shit. He's like making a mountain out of a molehill.
Transferable to the stunt work and the flying, where I was strung up by my underpants and had to hold my limbs and my torso in this steady, exact position, and then as much as possible sort of relax my face and look like it was effortless. All that training so I couldn't fit into my costume. They had built my costume based on my screen test measurements, where I was 6'4" and 195 pounds.
But then he went to the gym for however long and got some muscle put on, but then he's like bigger. So what, the uniform was too tight?
And then I showed up 4 months later, 5 months later, still 6'4", but 240 pounds. So
damn. Really, bro? 240 pounds. So from 195, wait. 240 minus 195. Put on 45 pounds. And how long did he say?
Where I was 6'4" and 195 pounds. And then I showed up 4 months later, 5.
Well, which is it, bro? 4 or 5 months? This wasn't that long ago. You fucking forgot? Let's be charitable. 5 months. So I could round that up and say 50, 5 months. That's 10 pounds a month. Bro, you're that's not all muscle. That's fat. Are you kidding me? If that's not all fat, then I'm calling bullshit and I'm saying that's steroids. That's what I'm saying.
5 months later, still 6'4", but 240 pounds. So that first fitting was a bit of
240. And he's diced? Bro, if he's like not fat, bro, that's like the most crock of bullshit I ever heard. What, 4,500 calories? Yeah, that is like a surplus. Bro, more or less 10 pounds a month. What is that, 3 pounds a week? Or maybe what, 2 to 3 pounds a week? No, bro, 10 pounds a month. Get the fuck out of here.
Of a squeeze. There were always situations where things would work great in the fitting, and then you would get on set, you'd be in a specific flight pose or a specific fighting stance, and you would realize that this great move that the stunt team or the fight choreographer had come up with, you just couldn't do. You just physically couldn't do. I can't move my arm in that way. If I move my arm in that.
Well, fucking do some flexibility while you're doing the strength training, bro. Like, is your trainer like not worth a damn? You just got done saying, oh, it's about to be work time. I'm about to be Superman. And you didn't do like any upper body flexibility. Knowing you're going to do all this acrobatic shit. Man, you remember the part where he said, I love talking and critiquing movies and saying what made him so successful? Man, I love finding out the bullshit for some of this.
That way it moves the rest of me in this way, so we can't do what you think we can do. I can't lift my head up and put my feet back in the... all these things. So it's important to know that building a superhero suit, it's not fucking easy. Months and months, and really, ideally, a year of research and development about fabrics, and they're printing stuff on the fabrics, they're dyeing the fabrics, the colors are so specific. All of this makes every iteration of the costume time-consuming, complicated, and then...
I don't care. How's that matter to me? I mean, so what? It's a complicated job.
You have to fit it on a person. Huge credit to Judiana and to her whole team.
She knows how to do it all. That's why she got the job.
So many hours in fittings with them. Never once poked me with a safety pin. They, with limited time, especially because of the strikes leading up to shooting, our time prepping was limited, and they did an amazing job building this suit from scratch, making it so that I could fight and fly in it. I think the one thing we never figured out was how I could sleep in it. Only matters to me because I'm the one who wants to take a nap at lunchtime. It doesn't really matter for the movie that much. Aren't too many sleeping scenes in Superman movies. Didn't need a zipper to...
Maybe this is me, and I am just the ignorant one. Like, it's like midday and you're trying to take a nap? How old is this dude? Is he like 60? Are you like Grandpa Superman? Is that what we're doing? We filming Grandpa Superman? Grandpa Superman need to take a nap midday for shooting? Are you kidding me?
Because my intrepid dresser, Scotty, and I got so good at getting in and out of the suit that we could do it in about 4.5 minutes. So the Superman Clark Kent hair was a big thing. The slicked back Superman look is mainly artificial and works because that's the only hairstyle that holds up under extreme wind, as they say in Hairspray, for hair that holds up even in a NASA wind tunnel. The curl is the one thing that actually is just sort of happens if you pull a piece of hair down, it curls up like that.
Yeah.
And then the Clark Kent hair was just, once we got the Superman hair, what happened if you didn't do any of that? If you just let it dry naturally, my hair gets very curly and wavy and a little bit voluminous. Mannerisms-wise, I drew directly from All-Star Superman, which I think is parallel to what Christopher Reeve did extremely well.
Yeah.
Uncannily well.
I mean, I haven't even seen the movie yet, but that's pretty much Clark Kent. Clark Kent is a bitch. Clark Kent is supposed to be a bitch. That's what Kal-El's interpretation is of an average human man. Their cowardice.
Well, which was the posture, where Clark is obviously as big as Superman is, but he wears his clothes and he hunches in such a way as to make himself seem smaller. And Superman, obviously being a public-facing symbol of hope and safety and truth and justice in the American way, he stands chest out, proud, just as ready to defeat a superhuman foe as he is to be asked for directions. And that's the main thing, is I think Superman wants to be seen and wants to take up space because he wants to draw all of the negative attention of the no good doers to himself so that he can take that on. But he also wants to draw the attention of people who are in need or who want reassurance, or kids who want to take a picture or get an autograph.
What do you want to build with this Superman?
What do I want to what?
Build with this Superman.
I want to build Legos with this Superman. I would like to have Legos. Please, Lego, make me a Lego. All of these toys are great. It's amazing. I'm an action figure, indomitable Nick Holt with his amazing purple suit and his interchangeable faces. That's his sort of neutral, everyday face. And then if you'll notice, this is a very different look Nick has very different faces that he makes. This is his angry face, and then another extremely different look. This is his slightly less angry face. That's Nick Holt for you, and his enormous range of facial expressions. Make us a Lego. Hey, listen, thanks for spending a few minutes listening to me talk. And if you talked back, I didn't catch it, please send it in the mail to the appropriate authorities. And
Yeah, to whom it may concern.
I can't wait to... anyway, look, I've wasted enough of your time, but I appreciate you wasting it with me.
Yeah. I think he's a fine Superman. I mean, I still haven't even seen the movie yet, but he seems fine. I mean, like all Hollywood actors, they have to cover up the fact that they probably did steroids to put on to go from 195 to 240 and not be fat. Are you kidding me? But whatever. I mean, he probably drew on like some like decent sources of like Superman material, because what's his face right here had a specific image of what kind of Superman he wanted to portray. And if he's an actor worth his chops, he needs to be able to do that. But good on him. Whenever I go see it, hopefully it's good. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.